Hello, everyone. Thank you to everyone that's watching the replay of this. And I know that today was supposed to be, or tonight was supposed to be a episode of Sessions with a Sister because that was the plan. And sister has gone to bed. She decided not to do it tonight, so I apologize. I know she's the funny one, and you know, we really had a good time together. So we're definitely going to do this again. Unfortunately, with our time difference, she's just not able to hang like I can in the evening time. I'm a night owl, and she doesn't have time on her side. She's in Florida. So I think she's 3 hours. So 7, 8, 9, 10. I think it's 10 for her. So thought we could pull off 10 to 11, but that is not happening. So it's just me tonight, solo. But I can still answer questions. We can still have a great time. I kind of had wanted to talk about, us talk about our Christmas memories because we have none. So we thought that that would kind of be fun to discuss, like what we did for Christmas instead of Christmas during Christmas time. Um, so that is what we are going to discuss. I still think we can discuss it. It just won't be near as fun because we won't, be able to like talk to each other about it, but it'll still be fun. So leave your questions in the comments if anyone does have questions, because this will be a lot more fun if you guys are asking questions since it's just me tonight, which we used to do lives all the time um, with, or I used to do lives all the time with just me. I just haven't done it in a long time. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't even need like my mic and my headphones at this point because it's just me, and it's not like I need to record this in good quality, but whatever. So yeah, so we were going to discuss a little bit about our holidays, and I think we still will. I think we'll still get together and do it. It's just for right now. Uh she's going to sleep, take a little nappy. Very disappointed. Very disappointed. Um but I will discuss, this is just a little, I was going to try to download some pictures, and let's see how well this works. I guess you could kind of get an idea of the picture. So I don't know if you can see that, or if you could just see my disgusting nail. Look, at it broke off, or it smashed, and I'm not sure what it's doing. But see this. This is like just a great little visual of what we see. I can pretend like I scanned them in already, and we're just looking at it in the corner of my screen. I'm so professional like that. But this is like a great idea to show you the men folk hanging out and enjoying themselves playing football. Um, because that was just, I saw that in a picture and I thought, yeah, the men folk got to actually do like some kind of funnish stuff, and they, were able to play sports. Obviously not like real sports, like you couldn't ever play like t-ball or like actual sports with other people, but amongst ourselves they were able to play. Unfortunately for the women, um it just wasn't as possible for us to play all the things. Yeah, I mean, I would say it wasn't just like encouraged either. It was just like accepted that let the men do their thing and have a great time, and you guys just sit over here and cheer and make dinner and all the things. So it was fun. So I don't know. So they had all that to say. They had a better time than we did, I would say. This is the same time as this picture was taken. This picture was taken. That's me in the middle, with a couple of my friends. And so we watched them play football here. And that's we weren't married yet. I'm trying to think, but we weren't far off. But yeah, so this is the guys playing. This is us watching, of course, cheering them on, being the wonderful women folk that we were. But that picture reminded me of kind of during Christmas, what we typically would do. Where this is taken, we called them camps. Whenever we would go like join together with other people that believed like we did, we would call them camps. And so in that picture, that's kind of an example of a camp. This was actually one of the cooler places that we went. It was a more local camp up near us in Northern California. Um, so that one actually was pretty fun, but I always just remember being so cold there because of course we were wearing skirts and we got creative, like we could wear jackets, of course. And you could, I don't remember at that camp, like you could have gotten away, like it wouldn't have been against the rules to wear leggings under your skirts, but I think we as young girls, like trying to be like attracting our guy, like you didn't want that extra layer, it was just an extra layer. So I don't know that we did. I think we just suffered more than anything just to like get through. So anyway, that is just a great picture though of that. And but for Christmas, we would always be at a bigger camp. And that was in um Tulare, California, at the fairgrounds. So there's these, huge fairgrounds, and we rented the whole place. And that's like not too far from Fresno for those of you that know your way around California. So we would meet at the fairgrounds for Christmas, and depending on when Christmas would fall, you would have, maybe a short camp or maybe a long camp, but they definitely had to, keep us all there the whole holiday time because you wouldn't want to be like tempted to do something else. Or I think that was the main reason. But so we would meet at these huge fairgrounds, and these giant buildings on the fairgrounds. It was cold, and we would all sit in our little chairs at camp and have meetings. So we didn't call it church, it was always meetings. But meetings in the wintertime were always cold. So cold, December. So Christmas was like literally bundled up in our jackets and our denim skirts and our tennis shoes and chilling at the fairgrounds in one of the big buildings watching someone speak. And like we've mentioned before, our growing up years were not just like love and kindness and God is love type of meetings and preachings. It was definitely more like everything you're doing is wrong and you should be living in fear, and we will tell you how to do everything right because you're wrong. That was basically it. Like we were always wrong, which was super encouraging. But we'd go to these camps, listen to meetings, some of the meetings because women didn't speak, but men did. And then you would have the opportunity to anyone in the entire building, we're talking like 1,000 people, can share their testimony. A testimony was like, we called them testimonies, but it wasn't testimonies. It was more like just whatever I feel like talking about right now, I'm going to talk about. So you would get these people, men, who would need to share something that was on their heart, and they would talk for hours and hours and hours. We had meetings. I think the latest one I ever was at went till like 2 a.m. So, and those would start at 7 in the evening, and that went to like 2 a.m. But we would also have a morning meeting. So every morning at 10, I think we would have a meeting for several hours, and then we would prepare lunch and have lunch. And the guys would usually play some kind of sports. Sometimes some of the women would play at the fairgrounds, would maybe play volleyball. Um, but it was like you had to be really good at it to be allowed to play with the guys because they didn't want to play with any of us that didn't know how to play. And I mean, I don't blame them. But that was your day. So you would lunch, play volleyball for a little bit, and then dinner, and then meeting again. And the late meeting, the second meeting of the day was the one that tended to go quite a bit longer. And I think it was because, these men, they're smart. They know that there's really no limit, like we've stayed till 2 a.m. before. Why not do it again? Because we're having such a great time. It was awful. And like, I just remember like falling asleep during meetings, and I'm definitely like, I move around a lot, and it was awful. It was awful. And this was for everyone, not just adults. So like kids are sitting in there with us as well, like babies, everyone. We didn't ever do like a Sunday school type thing. Everyone was always in the same group together. It was a blast. But but these poor little kids, like, I remember when we were very young, my mom would bring a blanket and we would, and other families did this too, lay it on the floor and have, like, drawing things for us. This was before cell phones and tablets, not that we would have been allowed to have them, but, we would just lay on the ground and draw and read books and, like, be quiet. Like, that's just what you had to do, and fall asleep. But then once you reached, old enough to sit in a chair for 20 hours in a row, then you got to stay for the whole meetings. It was so awful. So yeah, but as a young person, like in our teens, of course we wanted to go there because that's where all of our friends were. Like we had no outside friends. So we were excited to go to camps and wanted to go until I don't know what age I reached when I really got over it. Like really, really was just done. Like I did not want to go back. Um and yeah, just a weird, like, I'm honestly weird group of people, like, so many. Like, it's amazing that more things have not come to light yet at this point with as many things that were going on there. Super creepy. But that was, like, our camp. So that was our Christmas time, was spent at the fairgrounds, cuddled up, cold the whole time, which is a lot for me to say because I don't get cold. It was always foggy there, always at Christmas time, foggy. And so we would hang out and just like that was what we did. Chantel, I miss you. Yeah. Wasn't it fun? And so probably extra fun for you too, since you were really probably scoping those guys out. But anyhow, like, yeah, so that was like our Christmas time. That was our Christmas time. And so not very many of the kids that I grew up with went to public school, but we did. So you would have your like school friends, but you weren't really friends with them. It was more like you just went to school with them. It's not like you could ever do anything with them outside of school. Uh so, of course, they're all talking about, all the presents under the trees and Santa and all the things that normal people discuss or talk about during the Christmas season. And then there was us. Like, I just as a kid remember how awkward it was. Like, you just tried to avoid it like so bad, so bad. Like, just how can I avoid having these conversations? I hated the month of December because everyone was always talking about Christmas. And so we truly did just try to like just avoid people because you didn't want to have to talk about it. And one time, I just was thinking about this because I was oh wait. Volunteer in the kitchen for meal prep so we could miss half the meeting. Yes, we did. I love that. We totally did. I kind of forgot about that. Yes. Oh my gosh, that was amazing. We did do that. And I feel like I remember doing that in the late one too. But yes, you could volunteer for lunch duties and then you can leave halfway through a meeting to go help out in the kitchen to prepare meals for everyone. I forgot about that. We had our ways, of sneaking around and getting out of them as much as possible. You feel so guilty for wanting to participate, but also feel guilty for not telling people yes. Oh my gosh, Shantae, so much, so much. You would just like, I don't want to tell them, but I don't celebrate. And no one would understand that, because you have to understand we were raised to the outside world. We looked very um like wholesome and very like ultra Christian, let's say. So when they hear you don't celebrate Christmas, they are like, "Wait, what? You believe in God and Jesus and all this stuff, but you don't celebrate Christmas? Like, isn't that blah blah blah?" And so they did expect that you would, and it was very weird that you didn't. So after a couple of those conversations, yeah, I definitely just would avoid it. And there was all the reasons we couldn't celebrate Christmas, of course, that, they would like to remind us of every year. And honestly, like even at the camps and beforehand, like that was part of it, is just basically solidifying in your mind that why we don't celebrate Christmas. And obviously, you see me today, and I still can't really describe exactly why we didn't celebrate Christmas. But so obviously, the reason didn't sink in real deep with me, but we were not allowed to. So yeah, it was very weird for outside people. And what I was gonna say is like in grammar school, I was very self-conscious anyway, just because of how we were raised, it was not good. And um, so you were very I was just so shy, so self-conscious. But they we went to school with a couple of other cult kids, and I just will never forget when in 4th grade, we were getting ready to do a little craft project. I was so excited about it. And then someone who went to our cult very loudly announces with hands in the air that Shannon and I cannot do this project because it was felt Santa magnets that we were making. And like my parents were pretty lenient, and my mom's like, make a pink one. Like, who cares? But when you went to school with other cult people, you couldn't because it would get called out. So it was kind of a bummer. We spent a lot of time in the library during Christmas events or any singing like events. We would go hang out in the library with all the other cult kids in all the other grades. It was just like a hodgepodge of us hanging out in the library. So that was cool. Um, but yeah, so our Christmas magic was hanging out at the fairgrounds with 1,000 other people, just feeling God's love. I think that was the purpose, but it didn't really come around that way. The amount of humiliation is ridiculous. I agree 100%. Very ridiculous. And you know what, too? And like, I'm just thinking because I don't have to wear skirts anymore, is I feel like one of the reasons I'm just putting this together, one of the reasons I disliked that time of year, I mean, one of there are many, many reasons, is because I feel like we were more noticeable in public in the winter in skirts versus the summer. I felt like in the summer, although then there were some really hot days that you would never wear that either. But I don't know, in the winter, it seemed more noticeable, like, why aren't these people in pants? Like, why are they walking around in skirts? Especially when we, like, went to the snow, you know? We always locally up here in Northern California would have, like, snow days, and, oh, I would dread it. I did not that's one thing I can say with certainty, I was never excited to go to, and my mom, poor thing, we went. But we would bundle up and do a snow day. And I remember always thinking, like, I hope that we can find a place out of the public eye because sometimes we'd go to places where other people were sledding and you're with other people. And that was like humiliating. But every once in a while, we'd get places that were just us. Like we would literally hike ridiculous. Like, I can't believe what we had to do to have fun. But we would like hike in our skirts. And let me tell you one thing right here. Skirts, denim in particular. So what it does is it absorbs water and then it just holds on to it. And it's like, I'm here to stay. So when you are trudging through the snow, and I mean, on snow days, 100%, we did have pants on under our skirts. Of course, they would never make us just wear skirts in the snow. By the time we would get to the hill where we're going to have a great time, uh, you are so waterlogged. None of the clothing you're wearing is made for the snow. Like most of the time, I want to say like we're just wearing tennis shoes, hiking in the snow to go sled. Freezing cold. Your skirt is so heavy, guys. Like if you've never experienced this, if you've never experienced snow time or swimming time in a denim skirt, I highly recommend you don't because it's not fun. Unless you're like, what are those backpacks people wear when they're trying to get into shape? Like they run because they want the extra weight. Unless you like really desire to run in the snow with extra weight, don't do it. It is the most uncomfortable thing ever. It's miserable, it's cold, but you're like, I'm having so much fun because that was our fun. It was awful. Like those were truly some of the worst memories. Well, no, but they're some of the worst memories. Like, I truly hated snow days. So, but it was nice when we weren't so noticed, but we did have to hike to not be noticed, but I probably would have gladly hiked for people to not see me in my skirt. And then skiing was another experience that people wore skirts on the hilltop. Yes, like let's go to Tahoe during the winter, but let's wear skirts and let's see if anyone looks at us. Like I kind of want to go now. That's actually a really fun idea. Like, go now and see just how many, like, pay attention, obviously, to how many people look. Because back in the day, you were just like avoiding eye contact, like, do not look at anyone. I know I look like a fool, but just please don't look at me. So, yeah, that was fun. That was fun. So, these are all really fun memories that are so much better than like going to a Christmas Eve service and, you know, all of those normal fun church things that normal people do. But yeah, so that's what we did. Like disgusting. Sorry, I have a lot of family that lives in Tulare. I don't think all of Tulare is disgusting. The fairgrounds in December in Tulare, disgusting. Disgusting. Because herd of skirts in the snow. Absolutely. It was like a little like, here we are. I remember when I think of herds, what I really think of is a couple of times where a bunch of us teens-ish to 20s were, responsible enough or old enough to be allowed to go to the mall by ourselves. But there was probably like 10 or 12 of us at the mall. Just that's I just think herd of skirts because when you've got like 10 people with their denim skirts on, it's just like so I'm sure there was like a noise as we were walking down, the whatever mall. And and then it's like, what were we shopping for? Like I know we shopped a lot just for something to do because we truly had nothing. So, I know that's one reason, but I also just, like, laugh, like I mean, I remember searching for skirts, like, because there was a lot that you could find out in the public, in the world, but most of them would need, like, alterations, but every once in a while, you would come across one that needed no alterations, and that was, like, so exciting. You're, like, calling your friends, like, "You have to go to J.C. Penney's. They have a skirt that works." And it was pretty exciting. It was pretty exciting. Actually, I have a picture of um shoot. Anyway, so that was I'm not sure why we shop so much just because I it doesn't make any sense. But oh, here's a really really special family photo. It's a Walmart family photo. Remember when we used to do these kind of things? Oh, look how little and cute little sis is. All right. Um, but yeah. So what was I talking about? Oh yeah. Well, of course, winter and skirts. Oh, this is a fun picture. So, like I said, my family was pretty rebellious. And we had another family that we lived right next door to, as well as another family we lived right next door to. But one of them was also rebellious like us. So they did things. We would always go to Tahoe once a year in the winter and in the summer. And then we would go to Disneyland with them, which was so, but I have pictures here of, I remember this. My sister and my friend Amy, who was the other rebellious family, look at us in pants in this cabin where we stayed. It was the same place every time. We found these clothes. That jacket was mine, actually. No, it wasn't. We found these clothes in a closet there and got dressed up in pants. And we were thinking we were pretty freaking all that because we were in pants in Tahoe. It wasn't the winter though. This looks like the fall maybe. But isn't that amazing? We were like, yep, we got our pants on. Okay, when I was talking about shopping for skirts and every once in a while you come across one that works and you're like, "Friends, go get it." This is one of those. This is when we started wearing shorter skirts, obviously. And so you can see that there, how gorgeous that skirt is. And of course, I wanted to share it with everyone because We all need it. So I know at least 3 others that bought the same skirt. I don't remember where we got it. Actually, I do. It was some random store in Texas because this is when I was in Texas. Um, but the one problem with the skirt, why I got in trouble with the skirt, any guesses? I got in trouble for the skirt because you notice that V? There's this V at the bottom of the skirt. It looks like a pair of jeans, right? That was a thing for a while where you would make a skirt out of a pair of jeans. Well, number 1, we don't want it to look like a pair of jeans. I mean, it's okay if it's a denim skirt, but definitely should not look like you made it out of a pair of jeans. We don't want it to get confusing. And second of all, you've got this V shape, right? So that V, just for those of you that aren't knowledgeable about this, that V is pointing directly up into the crotch region. So we do not want to attract attention to that area. Okay. So, as excited as I was about this skirt, it also got vetoed. I wore it a couple of times. I actually had it a really long time. I think I would wear it to like, oh, I think I was already married there, so I wouldn't be in school. But I maybe would wear it to non-meeting related functions. But yeah, you don't want things pointing to that area of your body, right? No. And why? Why would I want to look like I'm wearing pants? I silly, just silly. So yeah, so that one is a no-no. But it was a bummer because it was one of those skirts you could actually buy in a store and you would think like, "Oh, perfect. It's like good to go. Like we're great." So anyway, we weren't. So here's a picture of I know I talked briefly about volleyball situation, which some people some of the women were brave enough to go play volleyball. Typically, how it went was the men played whatever sports they wanted to whenever they wanted to. And then if the women, there were a couple of women that were really good at volleyball, the guys would let them play with them because they were good. But most of the women sucked because we never played sports. So typically they'd be like, okay, time for a girls' game. And then all the girls would go play together and everyone sucked. So it wasn't fun. I hated sports growing up. I was mortified of being the center of attention or having all eyes on me, which is kind of ironic because now you just better be, just, here I am. So I hated it, but I had to play or I would get in trouble for my bad attitude. Mhm. So, I was forced to play baseball or softball, whatever, and volleyball because otherwise it would maybe perceived that I was having a bad attitude, which I never had a bad attitude, ever. But anyway, here's a picture of that. So I don't know if you can see how much fun all these women folk are having playing volleyball in their skirts. I appreciate that. But that's what we did. So much fun. So much fun. And like I said, I wasn't real into sports anyway, but also, I mean, just because sometimes people are like, what? Like, did you really dress like this? So here's a great picture. I'm going to try to not do faces, but like, there's everyone in their dresses. This is what it looked like. This was a fancy occasion, obviously. So everyone's got their Sunday best on. This is a great picture of my mom building a rock wall at our house, which we lived on like 10 acres. So it's not like you're going to have someone that's just like, oh my gosh, I saw her in her pants. No, this was her wearing her unacceptable culottes. They were a little bit flattering. Building a rock wall at our house, but she's got her culottes on. So good job, mom. Way to be modest while you're building a rock wall. But that's just how it was. Like even at home, you were modest all the time. This is a fun picture too. This was Pilot Lake Camp. This is a camp we went to in May, I think May. Was I FLDS? No, but but we tried. We tried. But no, we were not. We were not. I got out like 12 years ago. Um, and so it's been a lot of deconstructing and processing and I like to just talk online to my fabulous friends that can laugh with me about how ridiculous our lives were, which sometimes it does not seem long enough ago. Okay, but here's a fun picture of this was Pilot Lake Camp, good times. But again, you can see all the women folk, even the littles in their skirts and big culottes. We're getting ready to do a little boat in there, a little canoeing, little canoeing. It's always a good time. But you can do anything in a skirt. So we definitely learned that. This, oh my gosh. I just don't know what to share with you guys all tonight. Oh, here's a rebellious. Woo! Here's a very rebellious picture. Oh my gosh. Okay. Heart Rock? The camp called in California that had the Heart Rock. I don't know. Maybe it was so normal to me that I need to turn that off somehow. I don't know. Oh, you grew up Nazarene, Hannah. Interesting. Woman negative, rough upbringing. Oh, I can imagine. We can all relate. That's what's so crazy. It's like all these different cults and groups and organizations, the amount of things that are so similar throughout is mind-boggling. Like it really is crazy how much we can all relate, even though, we all have grown up a little bit differently. But yeah, not fun at all. Shantae, I'm not sure what the camp was called. The only camps in California is that I remember Pilot Lake Camp, Macomber Camp, and then we went to Camp Out, which was what was Camp Out called? Stone Cellar. And then in the olden days before Stone Cellar, there was something else that we did camp out at, but I don't remember what it is. I don't know. I wish I knew what the Heart Rock was, though. That is so interesting. You need to figure that out and tell me, please. Oh, good, Hannah. I'm glad that you feel less alone. Um, Send me a message on Instagram or Facebook so we can connect because that's why I do this is I just do not want people to feel alone. Ooh, it was a lot of Maury's. Heart. Oh, are you thinking okay, it might have been a Southern California camp that I didn't go to because I didn't go to all the Southern California stuff. Oh, okay, Hannah, gotcha. Um, you can email me as well if you want, Hannah. I'll put my email address in here. Yeah, I don't remember what that was called. Uh, Hanford. Hanford was another one that we went to that was like a Central California one-ish. That when we couldn't get to Larry, we would do Hanford, or maybe it moved to Hanford. For some reason, we did a lot of Decembers in Hanford too, which was just equally as bad as Tulare camps in December. I don't know why we would have done that, but obviously we did. All right. I just put my email in there for you, Hannah. All right. I you're good. All right. So, yes. So, oh, I keep getting distracted. What a surprise. Here is a very risky picture. I told you guys already, so you have been warned. We definitely went to Disneyland as kids. My parents were so rebellious, and I'm very proud of that now. But here's a very rebellious picture. I think the older we got, the little bit more like less my parents believed in what we were doing, and the older me and my sister got, it was just kind of like, screw you, like, I don't know. I think it slowly was just like, we're done. But I'm gonna guess, does this have a year on it? Oh, 5? No, that wouldn't be an 05. I was married by then. Okay, so I don't know when this was. Oh, maybe I was married. No, I look too little. But here, that's my sister front and center right there. Tank top and short-ish culottes. And then I'm here in the back, you can't see, but a very almost tank toppy shirt here. And I know exactly the culottes I had on in that picture as well. You can't see them, but I know what they were. I remember we found these like shorts that were really shorts, but we got away with them being culottes. I mean, for like Disneyland and stuff like that, because they were like seersucker men's. They were either men's or like women's. I think they were men's seersucker shorts. And we found some that could fit us okay enough to get away with it. And so we wore them. And then I remember one year we had them forever. I remember I probably would have been like right before you're married, maybe like 17, 16, 17. And we put them on a hike that like to put them on for a hike, thinking, okay, surely I can wear these for a hike. So I think me and my sister and probably Amy put these shorts on and go for a hike. Oh my gosh, the uproar that we caused because we put on shorts. And they were like so modest, you guys, but it's just the fact that they were shorts, like bad, bad, bad. Oh, Todd, I miss you. A lot of fun at Stone Cellar after we finally got the bathrooms. The bathrooms helped a lot. And I know what you mean. I think you're thinking it was a lot. I think I know where you're going with this. Oh my gosh, it wasn't fun at all until those bathrooms got put in. So we put bathrooms in, all right? Built these showers for this like we used this guy's property basically. It was this big field, what do we call it? A meadow. And so we would use that, and we rented it from him, but there was like nothing there. So we would have outhouses brought in. And then finally one year we're like, let's build us some like showers. So put together, they like milled wood on that property there. So we used that wood, throw together some showers. I think there were 4 of them. And then we would have showers to use. And there was like a little, you'd go in the door in a little dressing area and then a shower, which was plastic on the wood, and then just nothing. So it was great because you could get clean, right? You could like, I don't feel like I'm camping. I'm clean. Cause like, I need to mention this too. We were up there for like a week. Some people came for just the weekend, but the hardcore fellowshippers were there for a week. So I think what Todd is referring to here is once those showers were built, up until that point, there was no fun at Camp Out, except when there wasn't a meeting going on, and which is why we went early, because they didn't do meetings. Some of them did, but not all of them, and you could kind of avoid it a little bit. Those were fun times when you could just chill. Yes, you're not wearing what you want, but whatever. Like, at least no one is barking at you. So those were the only good times. But other than that, forced to play sports, which I hated. Even the men playing sports, they're in their jeans running, it's a little bit chafy down there. So anyhow, not a lot of fun happening at Fun Camp Out. But once those showers got put in, oh my goodness. And I don't know if it's even that funny, because maybe the men in charge did it on purpose to give, I don't know, it's something to think about. But blah, 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 blah. All this to say is a lot of people really enjoyed those showers, like really enjoyed them. There was a lot of holes in the plastic because this wood that was milled on site was pretty holy, knotty. That's what it was. It was knotty. There was lots of knots in it. And so it was very easy to accidentally, like push a toothbrush through the plastic. And then you got all kinds of fun visuals, right? So I think that's what Todd is referring to when he's talking about it wasn't fun until we got the bathrooms. And honestly, it's a little concerning now that I'm thinking the direction that maybe that was partially done on purpose, so certain people could look-see more legally. Yeah. But yeah, but that was good times. That was good times. At least we were clean, you know? I definitely would choose to just go clean at the lake versus the showers altogether because they were disgusting for more than one reason. But yeah, it was a neat opportunity, you know, for some people to learn things that we were never taught. Um, so yeah, again, these are good memories, really good memories. Back to Christmas though, no gifts, no gifts. So after Christmas break was literally the worst because you'd get back to school and everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, what'd you get for Christmas? What'd you get for Christmas?" And everyone was all excited about it. And you're just like, I mean, I got a lot of knowledge and my butt like hurts from sitting in metal chairs for hours and hours and hours of sitting on a metal chair listening to someone talk. And the person that's talking is not even really sharing anything of knowledge or useful. It's just stupid shit. Like truly, I talk about this often, but my biblical knowledge is so low, almost non-existent. So to me, that just shows, first of all, what an absolutely anxious child I was because I could not retain any knowledge because I was so nervous about everything going on around me. That, yes. Emotional damage. That is the gift that keeps on giving. 42 years later, it's still just blessing me greatly. Yeah, that's a good gift, isn't it? So sad. So sad. But yeah, I never gained anything from those experiences. And again, I think the main point, or for sure, was for us to be gathering together, fellowshipping during the Christmas season when other people are worshiping, not worshiping even, celebrating the birth of baby Jesus. We believed in the birth of Jesus, but it was, and I mean, definitely a lot of pagan ideas and stuff are in Christmas, and all the reasons they gave us probably are legit, you know? But also, like, the fear, like, "You're not gonna celebrate because you fear me," is not a good tactic. Like, obviously, a lot of us got really sick of that and are like, "I'm not really feeling the love of God. I am feeling the hatred of this person who's standing up in front and barking the exact same messages to us every time." And it was all fear-based. Very, very fear-based. But yeah, so we go to school, nothing to say, nothing to say about what gifts we got. And you know, it was emotional damaging. Thank you for saying that. That's exactly what it was. Okay, people often ask like, "Were you really that young when you got married?" I mean, not really. I was kind of old. Not as old as Shantae. I mean, come on, girl. But here is a party. Well, let me just show you. This is us when we got engaged. Um, you appreciate that? This is like, I don't know if you can even appreciate how baby young are my faces. Like, and look, I look happy. That's so sad. Um, Still in flip-flops. That hasn't changed. And my foot, I still twist my feet like that. That's so funny. I did not notice that. Just save that for you guys. And so here's some more fun pictures. Like, look at us ready for marriage. We know what we're doing. We've got all the shit figured out. We're gonna totally rock marriage. It'll be so fun. Here's another one with one of my baby dogs. And I'm barefoot. Yeah. Do you like the matching coordinating outfits? Isn't that special? Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah. So anyway, that's what our Christmases were. I definitely have more stories that I want to share with you guys with my sister because we will laugh our butts off. But um, but Christmas was not fun. It was not the funnest time of the year. Even like driving the car. Remember you like hurry to get past the Christmas music radio stations. Not that we listen to radio. Why would we even be? Oh, my dad listened to sports. Yeah, he was such a heathen. So we did not have a fun experience at Christmas. I hated it. It was one. Oh, look at this. So after I got married, my best friend growing up got married 2 weeks before me. And then I got married, and my other best friend got married like 6 months before. So the 3 of us were all married. So the 2 of us in California went to Texas to visit our friend Tracy, and we took our wedding dresses with us to Texas, and we got dressed in our wedding dresses. We walked around Walmart looking for flowers because we wanted bouquets, and then we walked around the mall, and then we went to, remember Picture People, where you would, like, go and take your picture? Which actually, another story is how my sister got engaged was at Picture People. That's a fun one. But here's us in Texas at Picture People with our wedding. I have more pictures with our wedding dresses. And that's what kind of fun we had. We had to make fun. And so we had good times. And when I do my podcast and when I talk to other people that have come from cults or high control situations, people assume or think when they don't have knowledge about how cults work, they assume like everyone's an idiot that's in a cult. Like, how could you be in a group like that? That's awful. Why wouldn't you get out? How did you not see that that was worse way earlier? And the thing is, like, there is something good that generally leads a person to want to experience some kind of group, right? So, like, I just did a podcast last week with someone who actually did join the cult I was in as a young adult. And, he said there was a lot of positive there. He actually liked the more rigidity of it, like the rules, and because he needed that in his life. And so he valued that, and that was important. And just like the family dynamic, like, oh, everyone loves everyone and blah blah blah. So there's always something. And like that picture of us, that just reminds me, like, we had fun. We kind of had to make our own fun. And when I think about fun times, it is when, like, as a family on our own, not with the group, when we made our fun times. Here's a couple of more rebellious pictures. Oh wait. Oh, this is a great picture of me and my bestie who I went to Texas to visit in our wedding dresses. This is us in our matching jumpers that our moms made, and our luscious, luscious long hair. Do you see how long our hair was? And I want to say, what grade would that have been in? I want to say this same year or the year after, maybe. That luscious long hair, I was sitting in front of, we had a fireplace that had a glass door that closed over it. And then I was sitting in front of it, and I had a 49er jacket on that was shiny gold. And the heat reflected off the jacket and started, because my hair was like to my butt. So it was way down my back. It started a little fire in my hair. And we didn't notice it at first because it was more just like a boom. It wasn't like flames, like melted more. I was walking out the door to go to school, and my mom's like, "Oh my gosh, your hair." I cried so much because I knew I would get in trouble from everyone at church, not church meetings, sorry. And I was mortified. I always wanted to cut my hair, always, always, always. I just always have hated long hair. And so you think like I would have been excited. And like, while part of me wanted to be excited that my hair was going to be short, I was mortified because I knew and of course, sure enough, it all happened just like I thought. The judgments. And so basically we had to explain to everyone what happened so that they didn't think that I had just cut my hair. It was a big deal. But that would have had to been not too long after that luscious picture, because I don't think after I cut it from the fire. I don't think I ever grew it that long again. I think at that point I started like trimming it. I mean, it was long. It was, but not to my butt. It never was to my butt after that. Like here. Oh wow. Yep. This is like right before we got married. I cut bangs, which of course I always also got in trouble for. I did a lot of things that were just terrible. But I had bangs here, which I got away with, but it wasn't easy. And so my hair's pretty long. You can't really see where it ends, but I want to say it wasn't. Here, let's look at the engagement pictures. That will show me more the length of it, I think. Anyway, very rebellious that I did the bangs but yeah, I was mortified when my hair burnt. I was so scared that, I mean, what are they going to do? But still, there was that fear. Okay, so it was like, yeah, there it is. So it was like that long. So I don't know. But so since 6th grade, I kind of, kept it trimmed up to where it wasn't ever back to my butt length. Here's another very rebellious picture of us at Disneyland. And oh, I'm dying. These are culottes for those of you that don't know what culottes are. Oh, stupid hair. These are culottes right here. So it's like, is it a skirt? Oh, it's culottes. It basically is like a skirt for each leg. So you're able to like play more. So like we wore culottes when we played outside, and that's me back here. I've got culottes on, of course, too. This I would like to point out. This person, Danielle, if you're watching this, is not in our family because look at how short her shorts are. Like, what a heathen. That's like insanely short. So yeah, Danielle, I don't know. Your parents should probably look and check their heart a little bit on that one. But yeah, so anyway, that's all the rebellious pictures I think I pulled out for you guys. Okay, this trigger warning for those from my cult in our area. This is where we met. This is fancy because we were set up for my friend's rehearsal dinner. Okay, this is in 99. So this was Bree's wedding because December 99 and then I got married in May. So yeah. Look at this. Grange Hall, you guys. Look at that. Do you miss that building so much? This is where we met every Sunday, every Wednesday night, and sometimes Fridays. But usually on Fridays, we tried to mix it up a little, make it more fun. There was one house that we went to a lot that had basketball. So the guys could play basketball while we just hung out and watched them. So there were some houses that we were able to go to. Oh, Todd, he remembers the meetings about makeup and earrings. Yes. I mean, you know what? It's those kind of important things that you've got to get a handle on in your organization or it's just going to get out of control. I like to say that it's a slippery slope and you just got to be careful because it could be that one day you're, wearing makeup and then the next day it's, you're sleeping with a neighbor. It's a slippery slope, so you got to be careful. But yeah, that's the thing. Our meetings were just real impactful and full of wonderful, wonderful advice. I actually want to get some recordings. Oh, actually, let's see if I can. I wanted to get this on so I could just share my camera with you, but let's just look here real quick. For those of you that do not follow the Daily Grover on Instagram. It's a great, hilarious page run by an anonymous person from my cult group. And this person is fabulous at editing. And oh my gosh, like it is hilarious. So this is a little clip of actual meetings happening right now as we are in the holiday season. Let me find a good one.
A celebration of truth.
Oh, this guy. Oh, I can almost not even watch. It's so painful.
Celebration of the birth of Jesus, a celebration of truth? No. There's a whole bunch of ways I know it's not. One is the world can receive it. The world does it. The unsaved world celebrates Christmas as much as the saved world does. But this spirit can't be received by the world. This spirit is about truth. That can't be a celebration of Jesus, of the scriptures, because he is holy. That is a defiled celebration. That is a sick, defiled celebration. And it's all about love and the birth of Jesus. Who would want a celebration of the birth of Jesus to be characterized by overspending, competition with one another in lights and glamour and glitz and parties and drunkenness, immorality, partying with the unsaved and the saved? Who would want that kind of mixture? Only Satan. That celebration of the birth of Jesus.
Okay, so just basically, this is what we got to hear every December, meeting after meeting, just to make sure it sunk in why we do not celebrate Christmas. And obviously, this, if others are doing it, celebrating Christmas with unbelievers, it's wrong, apparently. And it's just very interesting to me how that's okay to say stuff like this.
Celebrate.
And yet I know lots of people that celebrate Christmas that are not partying and getting drunk. Like, he basically is saying that is what they're all doing, but that's not it. I mean, it can just go on and on.
Celebration of the.
But it's truly, truly very sad.
It's a good party. This is a good time for us to
here's another one.
soberly sit down.
Oh boy, here we go.
This is a good party. This is a good time for us to soberly sit down as a family and reflect on the beauty of Jesus Christ coming to this earth for mankind. That's not what it's about. And you're not spiritual enough to sanctify it. It is an evil thing because it's a mixture of light and darkness, which darkens the light. It brings shame on the testimony of Christ. It can't be used to worship Christ.
So if you celebrate Christmas, you cannot worship Christ. I just laugh so hard at these, you guys. It is so
dreary.
so you've got to go follow this and look at all the posts.
This is good. This is love. This is there's just love. Just tra la 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 la.
Oh, okay. I've got to share this with you too.
This is good. This is love. This is this is good. This is love. This is there's just love. Just tra la 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 la. Yeah, right. Tra la la. Yeah, join the church of your choice. Start your own. Start your own. Start your own. Start your own.
Oh my gosh.
This is good. This is love.
So good. Anyway, that's a great follow for anyone that, is looking for a good laugh, because it is pretty hilarious. But yes. So anyway, I will be back with the sister at some point. We will go live. I'm not sure if she will make it for any lives, honestly, because of the time change and her not being a night owl. So, but either way, we will record some and post them later if that's what we end up doing. So you will get to see us together again, because I know everyone loved it. But I hope you guys all share the podcast, my stuff. I'm trying to ramp up the podcast again. And there's some amazing interviews. Like, these people, you guys, are incredible. Just incredible how many different survivors from different types of organizations or groups or cults. So much we share in common. So many things we share in common, which is really sad, but it's also really awesome to find other people that have are also trying to kind of deconstruct and unlearn what they're doing. Is it still going on in SAC meetings? No. So the Sacramento one, we pretty much it totally disbanded. There's a couple of stragglers here, but I don't think that they meet like in a group. I know that most that were left here moved to Texas because they're going strong there. And there are some in like the San Luis Obispo area in California. And I think there's some down in yeah, for sure. There's some down in the LA area, California as well. Those are the only that I know of that are still going. Oh, in Oklahoma, there's a group still going. I think there's like 4 of them or something. But yeah, the Sacramento ones pretty much have dismantled. There's still people here, a lot of people here from our group who are out, but then there's also some here that still believe the same way. Actually, I think I'm not positive, but I'm pretty positive. I think that RG lives back here. But I haven't had any sightings and I don't know that for certain. I just heard that they moved back in this area, but obviously he's not like doing anything unless he might be doing his online thing still. At this point, I think he's just letting the boys kind of take over. And they're doing a fabulous job. So anyway, yeah, that is that. I will be back though. Thank you guys for hanging out. I would love if everyone shared my Facebook page. Actually, I forget if I am on my Shanny Pants Facebook page. So share this page because it's just brand new and I just got it up and running. And I'm trying to stream to the Facebook page as well now that that's up and running again. Otherwise, YouTube's my fave. And I should be able to start streaming to Instagram again soon too. There was just something weird tonight that didn't quite work with it. They're still like working out some bugs with the Instagram side of the streaming. So yeah, so that's that. If you guys have any questions, you can always email me, direct message me on any of my platforms. I get to them all eventually. If you really need something, email. But yeah, so anyway, I'm loving the interaction tonight. Thanks for joining me, and we'll definitely do it again and make it a real laugh fest. Just, hopefully we'll do another one before Christmas because, there's just so many amazing Christmas, non-Christmas memories. All right. Thanks guys for hanging out. Bye. Have a good week.